Hey there. Hey, don't look for the Marvel Studios logo or Captain America or Iron Man in this Civil War movie, although its portrayal of the destruction of something that once was good does mirror what happened to Marvel Studios. So there's that. All right, let's do this.
In a world where the number of movies available is great, but many are so bad, you'll learn a new definition of hate. One man sifts and reviews through the movie sludge. One man will be the movie cop, jury, and judge. He goes by many names, but you know him by Movies Merica.
All right, everybody. Welcome to this episode of Movies Merica Live this Sunday afternoon. As always, I'm your humble host, Van Ebert, and welcome to this Civil War episode of Movies Merica Live, especially to my movie maniacs and my fellow freedom-fueled film fanatics. You know who you are, okay? So, yeah, let's get right into Civil War, okay? Because this is a movie that's got everybody talking, including yours truly, obviously. I mean, I'm right here, right, talking to you about Civil War. And I got a feeling that some folks have some things to say about Civil War, not just me, okay? And maybe they're just begging, just itching for a chance to talk about Civil War to somebody. And right now is your chance. And you can do that by live chatting with me in Rumble and YouTube and Pilled, all right? So let's get right into Civil War, why don't we? And let's punctuate the point that we're talking about Civil War with this, what I think is kind of a cool graphic from Civil War or from their marketing. And Civil War is directed by Alex Garland, and you know him from Ex Machina and Annihilation, and 28 Days Later, he wrote that. And then he made the movie Men, which is not that great. Neither men nor women should see that movie. Unless you lose a bet with God or something. But now he is directing and has solely written Civil War, okay? And yeah, I mean, as you can tell from the trailers, from the marketing, really it's all about a portrayal of a hopefully never to happen, totally always to be fictitious Second American Civil War, okay? But we're we're headed there, okay, unless some major changes can be made. But that's what makes this movie riveting and so incendiary, is because this is not some movie, you know, about something made in a galaxy far, far away with droids and, you know, some muscle-bound dude living in Castle Grayskull. I mean, this is something that's, you know, from our contemporary times, right? And you have Kirsten Dunst and Wagner Moura and Cailee, Spaeny, and Stephen McKinley Henderson. They all play like photographers and journalists that are traveling from New York City to Washington, D.C. To hopefully get an interview with the President of the United States before his enemies, the military forces that are anti, I guess, him, you know, take him down, basically, you know, let's just take him out. And so the name of those military forces are the Western Forces, okay? And so the movie, a lot of it is, it's like a road trip movie, okay? But it's not a fun road trip movie like the movie Road Trip or anything like that, you know, or Kingpin or some other road trip movie like that. It's a road trip where you see the horrors of war, and you see it through through the movie, but then through the photographs that these war photojournalists are taking. And you've got the grizzled veteran played by Kirsten Dunst. She's the grizzled veteran war photojournalist. Cailee, I was about to say Cailee McEnany. Cailee Spaeny plays like the Daisy Fresh rookie war photojournalist. You know, she's supposed to be like 23 in this movie, but yeah, in this movie she looks like she's 12. Okay, in real life she looks much older and much better, but in this movie, yeah, she looks like she could still do a Nickelodeon show. Okay, but that is pretty much the plot of the movie right there. I'm not going to give you all the ins and outs and the detailed idiosyncrasies or anything like that. That is not until this Thursday on my Movies America spoiler warning show here, but that is just going to be a 50,000 foot view of the plot right there. But I don't want to give away too much at all there. So I'm going to check the live chat, see if you've got anybody posting live chats or anything like that in here. Not quite yet. So yeah, everyone's probably just still getting up from their post-church naps, right? So because we all know that, right? It's everyone's just going to church and living in the house of the Lord. Okay, but so another thing about Civil War is it's sort of like a drop you right in the middle of a war just for a peak experience, like Christopher Nolan's Dunkirk was. Now, like that movie, it doesn't provide a robust beginning and a fleshed out ending. People need to know that going into this movie. It's a relatively short movie, so from that, you should know it's not going to be some 12-hour Ken Burns documentary spelling everything out for you about this Civil War. To that point, California and Texas are on the same side in this movie. Now, I think Alex Garland teamed California with Texas to really drive home the point that he's not trying to make this movie wear any team's jersey. If you see those two states teamed up, you're confused because it further muddies up the water as to what side this movie is on. Trying to figure out what side the movie is on misses the entire point of the movie. The point is to show you how horrible a civil war would be, so then you can decide what to do with what you've just been shown. You know, maybe you adjust your hostility level. Maybe you'll do nothing different. Maybe you'll just complain that the movie isn't what you wanted it to be. If you wanted to make a movie that's a cautionary tale about a second American Civil War occurring, this is how you do it. Leave everything ambiguous so neither Democrat or Republican can claim this movie as theirs. Instead, you're challenged to figure it out for yourself, to, I know, use your imagination. I know it's ungodly, right? All to get you thinking of what precluded this Civil War and what makes up the sides. Maybe also to get you to change how you might interact with people that just happen to have opposing views. You know how we used to interact with people with opposing views, say like 30 years ago. You know, we weren't cursing them out or calling them Nazis. Okay, so, and also maybe this movie will encourage you to get more active in using peaceable solutions to avoid a civil war like what we see on the screen here. You know, like running for office yourself, canvassing neighborhoods for elections, being a poll worker, you know, maybe being a more informed voter instead of just voting for the same people over and over again, etc. there. So, you know, I mean, because, yeah, it doesn't have to come to a civil war. A lot of people like to kind of, you know, puff out their chest and flex and go, oh, yeah, get ready for the Civil War. I got all my guns, you know, I'm ready. And if you ask that person, like, yeah, you know, when's the last time you voted? Or when's the last time you went to a school board meeting? You know, when's the last time you actually paid more attention to local politics closer to actually where you live than push all your chips, you know, into the presidential election? Okay, you should pay more attention to your local elections. Pay more attention to that. Start there. Don't invest all your time in a presidential election. You know, like, do peaceable things like that so that we don't have to come to the Civil War that we see in this movie right here. Okay. All right. So I'm just going to break it up here a little bit by letting you know all about our Bannies Award show that we're going to be coming out with here at 4/20. So on Saturday, April 20th, we're going to come out with our Bannies Award show. That is the Till Death Podcast Network equivalent to the Oscars, the Emmys, the Golden Globes, okay? But all those award shows, they bow to the Bannies, okay? But instead of taking my word for it, let me show you instead. Oh, yeah. Does that get you all excited there for the Bannies, everybody? So it should. And, yeah, we've got great award categories there for the Bannies. They're much more exciting than the Oscars or the Golden Globes or anything like that. I mean, we've got the biggest dingus award. We've got the most bannable offense, or most bannable offense, I should say. It's not a football award show. Most banned movie / pop culture personality. All kinds of great awards that you'll be able to check out there. But yeah, check that out on April 20th, everybody. All right. So, and also just should tell you guys all about our tdpn.locals.com website that you see up there at the very top of the overlay. And TDPN, as in Till Death Podcast Network, tdpn.locals.com is where we have all our great content, okay, like our videos and our blogs and our articles, all about movies and TV and politics and hot button issues of the day, all kinds of stuff. So, beverages, cocktails, booze, you have it. Pardon me. Speaking of beverages, I'm beer burping over here already. But yeah, go and check out that website right there. Check out all that great content. And then as you see down below, if you put in promo code TDPN, you get 1 month free membership. Yeah, take advantage of that right there. Okay, you're going to get carte blanche, free reign over the entire website. You get to see everything, okay? Even in the room behind the curtain, that you got to open up the curtain and go back there and hide that shameful look. That's back in the 90s when you had to go back into the adult movie section behind the curtain. So not that I would know anything about that. So, but but hey, if we had something like that as part of this website, if you put in promo code TDPN, since you get free reign, you'd be able to see all that right there. Okay, so check that out, tdpn.locals.com. And if it seems like I'm rushing here, it's because I am, because I'm going to go see Civil War again, but I'm going to go see it in IMAX, so I got to rush across town to go see that, and so I got to leave myself enough time to do that and walk the dog. I got to walk my dog before I go do that. So no, that is not a euphemism for something else. Okay, so so that's why I'm trying to rush real quick through the episode real fast, okay, and rush everything, okay. So I got to be very, very speedy. And to that end, let me very quickly ask you to like this episode by hitting that like button down below, and then also hit that follow or subscribe button down there as well if you haven't already. And then lastly, hit that notification bell down there as well. I'm getting a good arm workout here down there. And then also, if you're watching this episode later on, you're not watching it live, get in the comments down below, okay? I want to hear from you all about Civil War or any other movie that comes to mind. I want to hear from you. Or let me know, hey, you know what? You need to do this better, Van. You really need to improve on this. Or, hey, I like when you do this, do more of that. So that way I know how to improve the show for you, okay? So let's do this. And we got more Civil War to talk about, everybody. And, none of the performances between the main four characters really stood out to me, to be honest with you. Now, I know a lot of people are raving about Kirsten Dunst's performance, but I didn't find it that remarkable. I mean, it was fine, but I found another similar type of role, Jessica Chastain in Zero Dark 30, really to be more compelling if I'm comparing the two roles there or the two performances. You'll find similar roles to what Kirsten Dunst has in this movie. You'll find similar roles to that, played by like John Malkovich and Julian Sands and Roland Joffe's The Killing Fields from way back in 1984. That movie is kind of a similar kind of tone, but that it takes place in Cambodia in the early 70s, a part of the Khmer Rouge and Pol Pot and all that stuff. It's a similarly depressing movie about another very deadly period in our history. And so you get war photographers, photographers taking photos in that whole period of our history, and just like Kirsten Dunst is in Civil War. But those characters are played by John Malkovich, later of Con Air fame, okay, and Julian Sands, and then we have also the other main characters in the movie. You got Wagner Moura's Joel, Cailee Spaany's Jesse, and Stephen McKinley Henderson's, say that 10 times real fast, his character of Sammy. They're interesting enough, but not to the point where you're frantically chewing your nails worrying about what happens to them, to be quite honest. I mean, you don't want anything bad to happen to them, but you're not sweating bullets over it. Speaking of bullets, they fly like crazy in parts of Civil War. I mean, you would imagine that, right? You'd expect that in a movie with the word war in it, right? And when those bullets fly, man, do you hear it and feel it, thanks to the bombastic sound design. They even jump scare you in one scene where they cut quickly to a gun battle, and I'll admit, it did get me. I mean, I jumped like a little girl seeing a scary clown. I can't deny it. And in this movie, the smaller scale scenes featuring horrific violence are just as eye-popping as the massive scale scenes where most of the budget went towards, in the third act there. The battle scenes in Washington, D.C. are riveting, yet mildly unnerving at the same time. I mean, this is our nation's capital, after all. Seeing downtown Washington, D.C. near the White House, and then eventually the White House, as the setting for high-intensity battling with ferocious firepower is just plain uncanny. One example of the firepower is Alex Garland makes sure you see the ungodly firepower of an Apache attack helicopter. Picture someone took 13 hours, the secret soldiers of Benghazi, and in the movie Black Hawk Down, and threw them both into a blender. And that's what you essentially get with the Washington, D.C. attack sequence. It's gnarly, yet uncomfortable, to be quite honest, right there. And then just some other random thoughts about the movie. I mean, it's got some elements with the music that it uses of Three Kings. Remember with Three Kings, the George Clooney, Mark Wahlberg, Ice Cube movie from back in 1999. It had some interesting needle drops for the setting, the Iraq War, the first one. The needle drops that they used in that setting were, you've got Saddam Hussein and the Iraqi troops, and you've got the American troops, George Clooney, Mark Wahlberg, Ice Cube, and just some of the interesting needle drops that they have in that as compared to the situation, the setting of the movie was kind of interesting, kind of surreal. And Civil War has that as well. It has some music in it where you're like, oh, okay, that's surprising that you're using that as part of this scene, this kind of somber, violent scene here. But, hey, I see TGM, the Gray Man, in the live chat on Pilled. Hey, good to see you here. So, it says Truck Maintenance Day, so they're lurking. So, hey, I just appreciate you lurking right there. That means a lot to me, man. But hopefully your day is kicking ass and taking names, and good luck with the old truck maintenance right there. You don't want to see me doing truck maintenance because one of my digits is probably going to get crushed or something like that, or I'm going to drop some tools on myself or something like that. But good to see you. Good to see you. Yeah, with Civil War, the soundtrack music used in some of the scenes also didn't match the scene at all. They've got some scenes where what you're seeing in front of your eyeballs doesn't really mesh that well. It's a little weird with the music that they're using. And then also you see soldiers from both sides wearing similar looking camo. So it's hard to tell who's who sometimes in this, to be honest with you. In addition to that, it does look like you have militias wearing civilian clothing mixed in with those anti-Washington D.C. forces, or what they call the Western forces in this. So it's kind of like, remember the movie The Patriot with Mel Gibson? They had like the uniformed American forces there. And then they had like the militia, the colonial militias, where it was just soldiers in civilian clothing just fighting on the side of the Americans there. And so I think that's what they have here in this movie is you just have like militias wearing civilian clothing, like Hawaiian shirts in this, and they're helping out the Western forces, the anti-Washington D.C. forces, and they're wearing Hawaiian shirts. So I don't know if that's like their nod to the Proud Boys or something like that. I no idea, but again, that's one of many things you'll be able to kind of just figure out for yourself with this movie, because Alex Garland is not trying to spell everything out for you. Okay, it's the movie is riveting because it lets you use your imagination. It kind of lets you analyze the movie and fill in your own blanks right there. All right, what do we got here? Oh yes, we got Deb for no right there. So man, I'm like, here, let me do this. I am getting old in my old age. There we go. So yes, all right. Thanks a lot for joining us, Deb, here with the on the show. There, appreciate everybody that is joining here on the show. So. And I hate it right now. My contact lenses. I don't know if any of you wear contact lenses, but my contact lenses are all dried up right now. So I'm like trying to like read shit over here. So it's a lot of fun. It's a lot of fun. So one more thing about the Civil War that I have to say is I shouldn't have watched things on social media or like promotional things or marketing things about Civil War before watching it. Like watching interviews with the cast and the crew, seeing all the actors and the directors, and the director all laughing and being jovial together. Like when they're being interviewed together at South by Southwest or on some talk show or something like that. Seeing that and then remembering that took me too much out of the movie. Okay, it just reminded me too much of what they're like together in real life, and it just took me out of the movie. It lessened the amount of the shock that I felt. I mean, I was still shocked watching the movie, but not as much as I could have been if I hadn't watched all of them get interviewed and laughing it up and yucking about it. Go, hey, remember that day we were shooting that scene? Oh, I remember that. Oh my God, Kirsten Dunst, you were so hilarious. Oh, she was, wasn't she? And like, if I didn't see stuff like that, before the movie, then the movie probably would have hit me a little harder. And then, as I'm sure you guys have probably heard already about this movie, the Jesse Plemons scene was as intense as you've probably already heard. You're an American? Well, what kind of American are you? That scene right there. That's the one exception to what I just said about things not hitting me as hard as they could have with this movie. I mean, what is it about that Jesse Plemons guy that makes him so good at playing a deadly calm psychopathic killer, like we saw him play in Breaking Bad for a few seasons in that? I don't know. What is it about you, Jesse Plemons? Interesting. Right there. So, but yeah, it's just a few random thoughts about Civil War that I just wanted to share with y'all right there. But again, this is a spoiler-free review. I am not going to spoil anything for you in this movie whatsoever. And I'm going to drink to that, everybody, by getting into a little brew review time. All right, everybody. Well, let me introduce you to a friend of mine here for brew review time. Let me hold that bad boy up there. And what we've got here is a little Terra Lager from Hitte or Height Brewery. I'm sure I'm butchering the name of that brewery here, something royal, from South Korea. And this is, just a lager here that is brewed from some barley that's produced in a region of Australia known as the Golden Triangle. Okay, so no, not the Golden Triad. Okay, not the drug dealing syndicate from the Far East. No, it's the Golden Triangle from Australia. Okay, and this beer is, they say it's crisp and clean, but that's what you hear about a lot of lagers. A lot of people say lagers are crisp and clean. Well, this beer is a little too clean because I think they cleaned all of the taste out of this beer. Okay, to be quite honest with you, just doesn't do it in a taste department. It's just too bland for me, to be honest with you here, and it just doesn't have any character to it. Now, it would help to have some taste to it, to have some character to it, but they cleaned all the taste out of it. Okay, so it is crisp, but it's taste free as well. So doesn't make it a very good lager whatsoever. Okay, and hey, to that end, I'm going to take a tug off this bad boy because I'm getting parched. So at least it will do that. I mean, if you're parched, it will wet your whistle. So. Okay. Well, that's beer. But that's a Terra lager from Height or Hitte Brewery from South Korea. But like I said, I'm trying to speed things up here, trying to move through the episode pretty quickly here so I can go see Civil War again. And so to that end, that has been Brew Review Time. All right, let's check out the live chat here and make sure I didn't miss anybody. And nope, we're good to go right there. But yeah, I'm just glad to see everybody that's in the live chat, or people that are just watching but not live chatting. Totally respect that. So sometimes you got to lurk, like the Gray Man has got to lurk since he's doing truck maintenance right there. So, all right, so let's mix it up here again by me telling you all about Flip City Magazine. Okay. Now, you're probably asking, what is Flip City Magazine? Well, you guys remember Mad Magazine, right? Or Cracked. Okay, those funny magazines from back in the day. Alfred E. Newman used to crack you up, from Mad Magazine. Well, now, all the cool kids are reading Flip City right here. Yeah, look. Didn't you see that? I flipped the Flip City right there. Yeah, check that out. I flipped the Flip City on y'all. And the Flip City is the Mad Magazine of these modern times. Now, you notice I didn't say Mad Magazine for a modern audience. No. That is not what I'm saying whatsoever, because that should make you not want to read or watch something. Every single time you hear somebody say, we remade this for a modern audience, run as fast as you can the other way. Okay, so, but no, it's just the modern Mad Magazine called Flip City. And it's got all kinds of funny stuff in it, cartoons and articles and all that stuff in that. And definitely should check that out. And as you see down below, if you put in promo code movies after you click on the Flip City link down in the description, because that's where you have to start. Because now that you are ravenously desiring Flip City Magazine, well, you just got to click on the Flip City link down in the description, okay? And then order your Flip City Magazine there, and then in a promo code field, put in promo code movies, and you are going to get 10% off your order of the best non-woke comic around. Okay, it's all jokes, no woke, right there. Okay, so get down there and do it. Okay, so don't miss out. Okay, someone else might be getting your Flip City issues before you. Okay, and you don't want to lose out right there. Okay, because Yep, definitely don't you snooze, you lose, everybody. That still applies right here. So get your Flip City magazine now. Yes. Okay, so and again, hey, just want to remind you, I kind of touched on it a little earlier. Movies America spoiler warning is this Thursday night. Yes, that's where I will be getting very spoilery with Civil War. Okay, and that show comes on at 7 Eastern, 6 Central, 5 Mountain, and 4 Pacific this Thursday night. And again, that's all about Civil War. And I'm going to have a special guest by the name of Dell. He's ex-military like me, and he's very based, very non-woke. And I just thought he would be a valuable guest to have on to discuss Civil War. Okay, and you'll have your chance. You can live chat with me and Dell this Thursday night, all about Civil War. So try to go see Civil War between now and then if you haven't seen it already. And let me know your thoughts about Civil War and all that. We'll definitely get into that on this Thursday night. Yes, let's definitely do it here. And now, is Civil War, is it a woke after school special? Well, no, it is not woke at all. And that's driving the movie critics that let their leftist freak flag fly crazy. It's driving them crazy. One thing that's driving some people crazy about Civil War is it doesn't spell everything out for them. Okay, I guess they need to have their hands held. They want this movie to explain everything. I mean, why are Texas and California together? How do they relate to the Florida alliance that gets mentioned in this movie? What political party does the president belong to? They just don't get that this movie was never supposed to be an amalgamation of a documentary and a movie where all the chess pieces are explained to you. The movie, relatively clearly, is supposed to be just a snapshot, no pun intended, of a period in this Civil War with photojournalists, let's try that again, photojournalists as our eyes and ears. It's not meant to start out with some narrator explaining the origins and periodically providing narration explaining, okay, so now here's what we've got going on now. Purposely or not, this movie will divide people on this point I just made alone. Some people will get that it's just supposed to be a snapshot, and others just won't get it and will complain that the movie wasn't more comprehensive. Okay, that's what Alex Garland was going for. Is it's just supposed to be like I mentioned before, Dunkirk. It didn't explain to you like how they got to Dunkirk. It didn't explain to you like everything that happened after Dunkirk. It just said, here's Dunkirk. Here's this thing that happened as part of World War II. We're just going to drop you right in the middle of it. And that's what this movie Civil War is supposed to be. It's not an Encyclopedia Britannica of everything that happens. Encyclopedia Britannica, remember those? Anybody Gen Z has no idea what I'm talking about when I say Encyclopedia Britannica right there. So, but yeah, so all that to say is no, it's not woke at all. And I think Alex Garland took extra special care to make sure that was the case right there. All right. So real quickly, I'll just let you know that, hey, if you are appreciating what you're watching right now, if you want to back up that appreciation financially, to throw a little moolah my way, what you can do is you can throw $1 or $2 or $100 my way. I wouldn't argue with that. And you can do that if you're watching on Rumble by giving me what's called a Rumble rant. And also, if you're on YouTube, you can do that via what's called a super chat. And then finally on pilled.net, you can give me what's called gold pills, and gold pills on pilled.net equate to money. Okay, so hard dinero. And if you're on Rumble and you want to give me a Rumble rant, you just got to click on that button with the $ down by where you type in your live chat message. If you're on YouTube and you want to give me a super chat, you just click on the button with the dollar bill down there by where you type in your live chat message. And then lastly, on Pilled, you can just click on the button that has the gold pill on it, and you can give me a certain number of gold pills, okay? And again, that's only if you want to, okay? I'm not going to beg for money. I'm not going to try to guilt trip you into giving money. I know some content creators like to do that. They imply like you're not classy or you're not a stand-up person if you don't donate money, to their show. It's like, nope. I hate that. Nothing makes me not give money to a show quicker than if they start guilt tripping me. I might have just been right on the verge of hitting that Rumble Rant button, and all of a sudden they start guilt tripping me, and I'm like, yep, never mind. So I'm not going to do that, okay? So I'm not going to be that guy doing that. All right, everybody. So let me remind you again real quick about the bannies here with this. All right. Yes. Yeah, that should get you psyched. Should get you gigged for the bannies. And again, like it said there, it is on 420, everybody. So, hey, if you smoke them or whatever, smoke them or sniff or whatever you got them. All right. So on 420. Okay. So, and that's going to be on Saturday, towards Saturday night on 420. And we'll have more specific information about that as we get closer to 420 there and the bannies, and that's on Saturday, like I just said there, and I don't know why I'm repeating that. So my final thoughts on Civil War is definitely check out this movie. Okay, now it's not one for the kiddies. Okay, so don't take the kiddies there and traumatize your kids. Okay, because you're just going to end up having to pay thousands of dollars in child psychotherapy if you do that. Okay, so wait till they're a little older and then show it to them, then. Okay, so, and I just noticed that the gray man says, still listening, covered in diesel. Yeah, I'm assuming you don't mean Vin Diesel, you're just covered in diesel. Okay, gotcha. Excellent. So, good, glad that you're listening here on the Civil War episode of Movies Merica Live. But check this movie out. It's officially A24's the studio that released this. It's officially their biggest, highest grossing. Pardon me, man. Ooh, beer burp. I know, not very classy. Not one of my prouder moments. But it's their highest grossing movie for the first weekend ever that they've had. And but it better be because it's their biggest budget movie they've ever had as well. So check out Civil War, all right? And then make sure you definitely check it out before the Movies America spoiler warning show this Thursday night, okay, with special guest Dell. All right, so let's get into doing one of my favorite parts of every episode, and it is rewarding the people that are watching the show on pilled.net. And that is when I release the scratching, yes. And what that's going to do is they're going to get some gold pills to grab. And that means money for them because remember I said gold pills equate to money in the pilled.net world. So we are going to do that very thing with releasing the scratching. So they better get ready because here we go. Yes, the scratching has been officially released. So enjoy there, the gray man, and everyone else that's in the live chat on pilled.net. Enjoy it. Yes. Okay, everybody. So with that, all right, let's get this out of here. So I gotta do this. I gotta do this better right there. I'll tell you, I gotta get this machine a little better, well oiled. Maybe I need more diesel, like the gray man's got available right there. We need more diesel to keep the show lubed and running more smoothly right there. So that sounded dirty for a second there. All right, everybody. But hey, get out there, people. Those movies aren't going to watch themselves. See ya. chase after me. They're coming after me, okay? But I got just enough time to ask you. Just like this video, if you would, and then subscribe to this channel, okay? I'm gonna be in handcuffs pretty soon. I gotta tell you. And so before they haul me off, make sure you watch these videos over here, okay? And thanks for watching this video and the Till Death Podcast Network, okay? I gotta go.